What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's good?
I heard your. First of all, what do you think an Achilles tear on a 40-year-old looks like?
Wild.
Looks like shredded spaghetti.
I tore mine when
I'm just saying
I tore mine at 40.
that we got Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers, who have already played 2 careers worth of football, tearing their Achilles. What do you think that's going to look like returning? Right? It looks exactly how it looks. So that's not going to get better. They're old. It's okay. Like, it's okay to get old. I don't know why people don't understand. As your body gets old, these injuries tend to never go away. That's the reality of life. So for people to think, oh, he got an Achilles tear, he'll come right back. No. No, Kirk Cousins can't plant and throw like he wants to. He can't move. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. So, no, Kirk Cousins is not an option.
Cousins couldn't move to begin with.
Yeah, he was immobile anyway.
Right. So for like the injury part of it, we're not talking about healthy players. We're not talking about a healthy player. And then add years to that.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm out on that.
So what you doing? We talked to you last week. We was on the Jameis train. It done devolved a little bit. it went downhill a little bit.
The Jameis train is off the rails.
They going to DTR. What's the best case scenario for DTR? And what's your thought process on Jameis Winston now?
That DTR has grown from watching football. That I think when I watch sports, and I watch all the sports, there's people in the sport that got their bag already, and they can just go out and play, and they play the game. So that means that if you're a quarterback and you go 20 of 22 for 180 yards and your team wins, shrug it off and say, hey, we won. I don't care. That's my job, right? But if you making $3 million, 20 for 22 for 180 yards looks like anybody could do it. And sometimes you press. And I just think there's a lot of guys in a lot of positions in a lot of sports that are worried about the wrong things. You know, they trying to get theirs. And it's not really about that at this moment. Jameis takes a lot of chances. And I've said this in the past. Jameis needs to learn how to win the game in front of him. That's it.
Can he learn
so if it's a shootout, it's a shootout. If it's not, it's not. He takes a lot of risk at the wrong possible times, right? And it ends up costing his team, and he's going out there and he's trying to really help the team, but he's not. So I don't know how to get that across. Like the reason why I couldn't be that way, because I wasn't as fast as Eric Metcalf. So I wasn't going to be running outside around the end. Right? My whole game was confrontational. So I didn't have those options.
Are you faster than him now, Leroy?
Than who?
Than Eric Metcalf.
Running forwards or backwards? Is he running? Is he running backwards or is he running forward? Like, no.
Thought maybe you got faster when you got older.
I told you guys, I see Metcalf at the gym every Saturday.
He's
He's
still
an
in great
absolute freaking monster. He looks like he still could play.
He was born that way.
After a certain age, brothers don't be sprinting. We ain't running from the cops.
I ain't running from to or away from nothing. If you chasing me for my money, I'm just gonna get got.
Here you go, dog.
Because I ain't gonna get my
got.
He not breaking it. He ain't got no hamstrings no more.
What about if you see an alligator down there in Florida? You don't run from the alligator?
We not there though.
First of all, see, here's the difference between white folks and black folks. See, white folks are interested in going over there and getting close to the gator and see what the gator. Ooh, look, Johnny, a gator, right? We gonna do it from afar.
Yeah.
So we don't never have to run away from the alligator because we ain't gonna be close enough.
So are you saying you'd take an 8 on a par 5 if there was a gator by where your ball landed?
Yeah, it's just one hole.
Hey, Leroy, you be looking,
I ain't taking no 8.
I be looking like this. I'm like, hey, Leroy, hey, is that a gator over there? Oh, hell no.
Oh, man, we're going another way.
We going
And
this
you know
way,
what?
bro.
I'm like, don't leave. We had. I remember bringing.
Bless you.
What is it? What was it? Goebel. Goebel was a backup quarterback with the Browns, and he came down and we were golfing down in Florida, and he hit his ball in some like high grass by the water, and he walked over there and he stepped on a snake and the head went up, right? And I took off running. He go, "Why you running?" I said, "Because he gonna get your ass. He gonna get your ass first." Like we ain't even know.
It's like when there's 2 people and a bear. You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the other guy.
I just got to outrun you.
Right.
That's it. So I don't like. Here's the thing that we'll know with DTR, and a lot of this has to go with your mindset, right? Have you been doing the things you need to do to be ready for this moment, right? Watching the other guys play, watching the film, in the playbook, because there's a lot of guys that get frustrated because they're not getting their opportunity. Then their opportunity comes and they're not ready. And that's the thing I'm gonna look for this week. He has the ability.
We just had his numbers up there for the season. It doesn't look like he has been doing those things.
Well, again,
He's barely played.
how many games?
No, I know.
He hasn't
thrown 3
right.
receptions and no touchdowns.
Yeah. He's he's played
here-
one game basically and parts of 2 others.
When you throw a quarterback in a game after your last quarterback threw 3 picks, you don't want to check down Charlie,
Yeah.
right?
And he's still throwing.
Like, so now you got to come in there and gunsling and just try to make good decisions. So I'm not going. He's got a full week of preparation. I want to see from both the coaching staff, from what he does on the field, if he's learned anything from these previous moments. And you see, like, as a running back, I'd watch other guys play and then be in the game. And if I saw somebody hesitate or try to find a bigger hole, I'd look in there and say, "Ooh, that defense is flowing. I got to get that first opportunity. I got to just hit that little crack." And then when I would go in the game, I wouldn't look for first option. Like, you get a flow of the game watching the game. You understand what you need to do and what the team needs right now, right? And like I was always told, there's nothing wrong with 2nd and 7. There is something wrong with 2nd and 13. And so, like, yeah. So what is his preparation going to be during the week? Has he been working on his skills throwing the football? There's a lot of things that, you want to see, because as a backup quarterback and as a young quarterback, there's no schedule for when your opportunities are going to be. There ain't a schedule. They say, hey, you know what? Week 15, James is going to throw 3 picks. That's when you probably going to get your opportunity. No. So you kind of have to be ready. I think part of that comes from being older, right? Young guys tend to get frustrated about their lack of opportunity. It's a normal thing.
Leroy, what do the Browns do now with Nick Chubb? It's unfortunate, the situation with him, the injury he's come off of. Do you bring him back? I mean, do you have to bring him back because of how much he's done for the organization, how much he means to the city? It's really a tough spot to be in for the Browns with Nick Chubb.
Here's what I would say. There is nothing promised. Nobody owes you anything. Okay? That being said, when you have a serious injury, a lot of the rest of your body compensates for it, and sometimes you leave yourself vulnerable to other things, right? If you ever notice, anybody who has a back surgery or something like that, when they get back to playing football, they pull a hamstring. I don't know why, it just happens. what I would say about the Browns and Nick Chubb is he means more to the organization than the numbers he puts on the field. I don't know if he's done, right? This guy has come back from some serious injuries. He might not, want to go through it. He might not. And if I'm the Browns, the first thing I say is we want you around. So I would say that none of these decisions have to be made until he's healthy. I told you before that when he was coming back from his knee that just seeing him play was good, but he's not going to be Nick Chubb. So for everybody expecting him to be the old Nick Chubb is unfair to that injury and to him. Like, you can play and still not be healthy. And it usually takes that second year is when you get back to feeling comfortable with everything that's going on. So now with an additional injury, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he feels. But I would say this from the standpoint of the Browns. There is no person that I can think of that has carried the torch of being a Browns player and what it takes to play and how you need to play in Cleveland than him. Absolutely. And that has to mean something, to the organization and to the city of Cleveland.
Leroy, Ashton Genty, who could break Barry Sanders' single-season college rushing record this week, albeit in 3 more games, still would break it.
Don't diminish it.
I mean, I think it's worth mentioning. All right, whatever. I'll leave it.
They have the exact same amount of carries for what it's worth. Like, exactly 344 carries each. So it's games be damned.
Wait, I'm wondering. I'm curious.
Right, but he hasn't broken the record yet.
No, but I'm curious as to Leroy. Why do you object to bringing him up?
No, he objects to the fact that he got the record.
He hasn't broken the record yet, but he could break it this week.
Right.
But really, the main reason I brought it up is, do you think he should have won the Heisman Trophy, and do you think he's the next special running back in the league?
Second part, yes. He has a dynamic that combines a lot of the skill sets that some running backs only have one of. As far as power, speed, agility, lateral movement. He runs very similar to a bigger Barry Sanders.
Damn.
Right? He's not as listen, I've seen Barry Sanders make people grab air. Yeah. He's not doing that. But he does have that type of lateral movement. So yes, he is going to be an impact player right away. As far as should he have won the Heisman? Absolutely not. The right guy won the Heisman. You talking about a guy who won the best wide receiver award and the best DB award.
That's why.
How is that not the best college player?
Yeah,
right. You like he didn't win one or the other. He won both.
I think in another year he does win the Heisman.
He played more football than anybody else in college football.
Yeah.
Well, you pick it.
He has made more of an impact than any kid, any young man in college football. You could almost say ever.
Can I throw this out? Because he is right where the question I was going to go was, all right, what do you do with Travis Hunter in the pros? If he comes to you and says, I want to play both ways, do you let him? And from you knowing the wear and tear on your body and how it works, is it even possible for him to play both ways?
I'd start him off at nickel corner and wide receiver. Why not?
And let him play both.
And he would start both
and see how it goes. Because guess what? If you eliminate one, then you're not going to possibly be able to see what he's the best at and what you need him more as. So you almost have to play him at both before you make the determination of where you actually need him on a football team.
but does the investment part of it come into play? Because obviously he's going to be a huge investment to wherever he lands. And then you start thinking about, and the way the way this game is played, that teams protect their investments. And if you're out there twice as much, you have twice as much chance of getting injured.
But could you say the same thing
He's
about
not,
Otani?
he's not playing
because
running
he's not
back and
getting hit 50
linebacker.
times.
He's not playing running back and linebacker.
No, he's still playing an
He's
impact
playing
position, though.
wide receiver, and DB. So you might say a running back and a linebacker might collide with somebody 50, 60 times a game,
Right. No,
40,
that's
50
true.
times.
Yeah.
He's
Let me ask you
probably
this,
maybe
Leroy.
if he gets hit 5 or 10 times a game, that's going to be the extent.
Let me ask you this, because I've
Sure.
asked other players this, and I've always gotten you get answers that are all over. You played in a very good college conference that was physical, more physical, I think, when you played than today. So rate on 0 to 100 the score of your body taking impact. So in the college game, was it a 52, but the NFL, it was an 85? Like, what's the difference in the physical contact between big-time college football and the NFL?
I would say 15 and 80.
Wow.
Really?
And
Dustin, would you say the same thing?
The only reason why I leave 20% off, because if you have 100%, your butt ain't playing that long because you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, you're done.
Right?
You-
But
So just to clarify,
15% in college, you didn't get hit hard that much.
you're saying you got hit way harder in the pros. What about your body though? Because obviously I didn't play tailback in college or the pros. I played DB.
My body,
Yeah.
I was never sore after a college game.
Really?
Never?
Really?
Never.
You a freak, man.
Now, do you think that was youth, or that was just speaking to what you're talking about right now? They just didn't deliver the kind of
little bit of
punishment.
both, and I never you could be a bully in college, right? I could be a bully, right? But then you get and think about this: when I got to the NFL, the defensive lineman that I was going against in college was now outside linebacker, and was faster than me.
Right.
Right, so
Yeah.
so you have to also understand. I was standing in the huddle. I might play a whole season and only play against 5 or 6 linebackers that weighed 250.
Yeah.
Right, the NFL. If somebody was 230, he was a safety. That was my linebacker
Yeah.
Yeah.
in college. So
and
while we
Leroy.
sitting here talking about all these things, no, it's a step up. It's a gradual step up.
Yeah.
And let's face it, when he played, defensive players could do whatever the hell they wanted to you.
Oh yeah, that's Wild Wild West.
Yeah, but the thing that I always tell people is one of the reasons why I retired is because I couldn't get out their way.
Shoulder pads are enormous.
Right.
Yeah, hey man,
You had the largest shoulder pads in the
Your
history
shoulder
of shoulder
pad game
pads.
is elite.
He's talked about this.
hey,
Yeah.
when I got into the league, they got smaller in Minnesota.
Yeah. Not
But
much.
they was still XL. Like, dude, look at me. Did I look like I was running away from somebody?
No.
No. So I needed them pads.
Yeah.
It's not like, look, it didn't take me long to realize I wasn't running away from these guys.
He kind of
Right.
looks like you
Like,
are running
so-
away from them
There
in
you
that
are.
picture.
And there were times, yeah, but I had to play a certain way, right?
Yeah.
One of the cool things about my career was every level of football that I played, each coach, even from little league to high school to college to the NFL, each coach wanted me to play football the same exact way.
Yeah.
And that as you be physical, nobody can stop you. You're breaking tackles. Don't run away from it. Okay, so in order for me to play a long time, I had to learn how to make the hits less physical while looking physical. So while guys come to tackle me, I would always pick an angle. So pick a shoulder, so even the running And when I was running, while people think it was a hard hit or whatever, I was running at his shoulder, his shoulder, his shoulder. I was trying to avoid the head-on, the full-on contact.
Right.
And eventually, those things helped me break tackles. So, like, yeah, there was a method to it, but it's still like, yeah, you're still dealing with bigger guys. I tell you a story. We were playing Pittsburgh one year, right? And I was running a seam route up the middle of the field because, periodically they throw me the ball. Out of the backfield, I run up the seam. We all knew, right? It's either going to be a linebacker, so you're going to have to outrun the linebacker. I'm like, cool. I'm running. My legs are moving. I'm telling you, I thought I was running a 10-100. I looked to the left of me, and you know who was keeping up with me? LaVon Kirkland. A 295 295-pound linebacker.
Middle linebacker.
And I'm like, the nose tackle is keeping up with me. I'm mad. What is going on here? And smiling at me. So that's the kind of stuff, like, when you go up to different levels, you realize that you're not just going to out-athlete these athletes.
Right, no.
You're not going to do it.
I hope the young man has a tremendous career. He's an incredible talent.
He does. I think he will. You know why?
I hope so.
Here's why. Go look at all the successful teams. Maybe there'll be a couple of outliers. The one thing they do, and this is the reason why the last couple of years, not this year particularly, but the last couple of years, the Browns have always been in the hunt, is because offensive line, defensive line. They built their teams from the inside out.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, all these teams talking about, we can get a running back from anywhere. Where are you? Where are you? So the running back making a comeback, I'm interested to see what happens in New York, because I remember that Hard Knocks where the guy said, we don't need Saquon. He'll be all right. Right?
That work out
That's
for
not, you don't, hey, I tell you what, you don't want that on TV. You don't. So
Now he's
you
in
look
the
at all
division
these
kicking
teams.
everyone's tail.
Right. You look at all these
Giants would
teams.
still suck with
They
Saquon,
all
let's be honest.
they all have a run game.
Suck less.
right.
Fair.
All right, Leroy, have a Merry Christmas.
You guys too. You guys too.
Hey, who's Michigan got in the
I'm-
playoffs?
Enjoy the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Yeah, who's Michigan got in the playoffs? There's so many teams in. I
oh,
haven't looked at all
hey.
the matchups yet.
You
Roll
know what's funny
Tide.
about that?
Roll
you know what's funny
Tide.
about that? You know what's funny about that? Like, you go ahead on and have your moment, right? But guess what? No
beat
matter
us.
how much winning y'all do in this postseason that we are not participating in, no matter how much, y'all still lost to Michigan.
Yeah,
That's
don't
right.
Remind us.
And-
Some of that
and
goes
you-
away
you
if we
can't-
win it all.
No, it don't.
Yeah, it does.
No,
Some
no,
of
it don't. No, it don't.
Hey, ask the players. You want a national championship ring or gold pants? You can only have one.
No. The gold pants is secondary. Beat Michigan.
Yeah.
And
You got
I'm
that
gonna tell
ring
you
on
right
your
now.
finger, it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna give y'all a warning right now.
Uh-oh.
Okay? If your quarterback doesn't play better, that Tennessee front seven
I know they get after
is
it.
the best in the country.
Yeah, they're good.
The best in the country.
Yeah. That's the matchup.
So,
you nailed it. You nailed it.
So while y'all sitting here talking about who's in the playoff, be careful. And y'all selling all y'all tickets to Tennessee.
That's
I
true.
the
heard a lot
secondary
of them are
market.
going out.
And
the
we got
door.
the Stay
Yeah.
Puft Marshmallow Man for the head coach. So,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
You really don't like Ryan Day.
No. He's dead
All right,
to me.
thanks, Leroy.